G'day, I'm Evan. Welcome to Gamey. Joining me on the panel this week, he's a gamer, but only in his spare time when he's not doing comedy and training to be a ninja. It's Dave Callan.
Thank you.
And star of Stage and Screen, Kate Dehnert. And from the popular Filthy Casuals podcast, it's Adam Knox.
Yes, podcast and stage and screen.
That's
where
my
I'm from.
thing. I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liza.
Hey, so what do you think about this thing? Spotify has launched on the Xbox One. Now you can play music on your Xbox One from your Spotify library, from your Spotify playlists, and you can play music while you're playing games as well.
Can that be the name of this segment? What do you think of this thing?
I think maybe it will be. Every day I'll start the show with what do you think of this thing?
Yeah, let's get a sting and a graphic.
Here's what I think. Perfectly fine.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's
You're welcome.
A good opinion.
Do you know what? Let me bring you guys back, because kids in the olden days, we didn't have Spotify, but the Xbox One allowed you to create custom soundtracks for games and play them over the top instead of the in-game music.
The original Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so let me draw you all back to 2001.
Okay. Which
So
date specifically? Because this will make a difference.
I think it was September the 12th.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
so things
there.
were weird anyway, and we had to get a CD, a physical CD, which was a round thing in the olden days.
Yes.
Put it into the tray drive, press a button that made it go in, and then you had to rip. This is the word. The CD to your hard drive, and it would kind of take up a bit of space, and you had to go through and name each track individually. Like you had to go and put in the name of the track and the artist, and then you had to do that
With your controller?
with your controller.
That sounds like the most frustrating exercise.
Not a keyboard. It was like blip, 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 blip. Took
Evan's
forever.
playing a fantastic foil by pretending he doesn't remember this, by the way.
Yeah.
You
Well,
were definitely old
You were
enough to
damn
have
right.
done this.
I haven't done it on Xbox. Certainly not putting out the track names with a controller.
But this, luxury, I'll cut to the chase. Luxury, you can go on and play, Forza Horizon I love driving games with custom soundtracks because you can play your favorite kind of thumping bangers
Yeah.
and you can kind of do that. And so you can use... Let's do that.
You're going backwards.
Wrong way, go back.
So you can use custom soundtracks you've already got on Spotify. All the track names are there. You don't have to put them in manually with a controller. Luxury, I love it. I'm so excited.
What I do remember is in Windows Media Player going through and having to correct when it picked the wrong album for it like incorrectly identified the CD.
I remember accidentally downloading a bunch of shit that was not Linkin Park.mp3. It was, someone doing something gross. But this seems redundant, right? Like, you've got every person now, the kettle can play Spotify and shit. Like, why do you need the Xbox to be able to do it as well? I've got a great kettle.
Yeah, my kettle I think is just
Yeah.
stuck on this one track that's just like blah, 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 blah.
Dubstep sick.
One nice touch is they've actually generated it so you can actually manipulate the Spotify playlist from your phone or your iPad. So you don't have
You
to...
send it a message going like, hey, I love you. No, I don't. Just manipulate it like that. Really try and get
mess
in
with
its
its
head.
mind. Yeah. So you don't have to pause the game and go into a menu and kind of do that weird kind of split screen thing. So you can just...
So then why are you not just playing it off of your phone?
Because of the tinny little speakers.
Yeah,
Phone
I
or
just
your
use
kettle?
headphones all the time because
Oh,
I live in an apartment and the walls are
right.
paper thin and I don't want anyone to know I live there.
That's very considerate.
Why? Do you have holes into the other apartments?
Yeah, I've got like spooky little Scooby-Doo things on all their paintings. I went round to their houses and gave them the paintings as gifts because who would get a big painting of a dude just looking at them in a small apartment. So I had to give them the paintings, make friends with them enough that they were polite enough to put them up on the walls and then cut the holes out like Mr. Bean, and now I know what they all look like naked. I've never done that. It was a waste of everyone's time.
Did you guys ever play CDs in your PlayStation? Your
Yeah.
PS1?
Or with that visual thing that would come on.
Yeah.
Like they had this, what was it called? A visualizer?
Visualizer, yeah.
So you'd play the CD and go into this visualizer that was the best thing ever at that time if you were stoned. And it would just generate these weird kind of isometric 3D images that would kind of be in time to the music, but also not.
It's the equivalent of like a guy at a music festival just coming up to you going, whoa!
Yeah, pretty much.
Holy, whoa! This is crazy.
Yeah, if the guy was more blocky
Yeah.
and repetitive. Yeah.
I seem to remember being able to get your PlayStation, I think it was PlayStation, where you could put the game in there, the game disc, boot up the game, and then swap over the disc to a music CD, and then it would just start playing that as the background music instead of, like, it wouldn't know that you swapped the disc, so it would start playing music off a CD
Yeah.
that you put in.
There was that game Vib Ribbon, that like that was the whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
that you were a little rabbit walking along, basically the audio wave of whatever sound file it was. And let me tell you, the Eminem tracks were hard because that's the only CD I had at the time.
Yeah. Imagine Death Grips.
Yeah, but and then just there's nothing for a while. All right, I can't jump that far. It was that you could with Dreamcast discs. If you put them into a CD player, it would have this British woman going, "This is a Dreamcast disc.
What?
Don't play the second track because it will absolutely ruin your speakers. It's just going to be a bunch of data, and we've not made it." She wasn't as casual as this, but and that was always kind of freaked me out that she lived in there.
And did you ever go to the second track?
Yeah,
It just sounds like garbage, right?
it would just be, like
How did it go again?
like a Donald Duck impression. Like just imagine someone being bad at a Donald Duck impression.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was What's Up, Buddy?
Donald Duck.
Yeah, that'd be a terrible Donald Duck impression. Hello, friends. Donald Duck here.
It's me. It's your uncle, Donald. What's going on here with you, Anne Louie?
Hey,
Let's go swallow some coins.
ignore that painting, kids. It's not following you with its eyes. Don't worry about it.
My favorite combination of video game and custom soundtrack was I played through Red Dead Redemption, the whole Western kind of game, and I put on the Ennio Morricone, kind of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly trilogy soundtrack, and it made it so much better.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to the new one coming out with Spotify now on Xbox. I can play that next installment with the same kind of soundtrack. Get some Sergio Leone cranking.
And then it goes on shuffle and Steal My Sunshine comes on next. You just ruin the whole thing.
That on a horse, though, would be so good.
It'd be great.
Let's talk about For Honor. It's a third-person hack-and-slash game from Ubisoft. There's a new season of content coming out this week. It's called Grudge and Glory. And they've just had a free weekend to drum up interest in the game. Did you ever play, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, I should really love this game because it's got, Vikings.
Right up your alley.
Yeah,
Yes, Vikings.
Yeah, it's got samurai.
can
The last
basically
DLC
play
had a shinobi or ninja.
Yeah.
It's got medieval knights. But yeah, I just found it a bit chaotic. And don't get me wrong, the environments are amazingly designed. They're beautiful castles and so on, and outdoor kind of vistas. But at the same time, that chaos really put me off, and the fact that it's so kind of mindless, you're just hacking and slashing everything. There's no real thought behind what you're doing. There's no real kind of strategy behind what you're doing. You're literally just hitting stuff, and that's a bit mindless.
But it does have an interesting combat system, right? When it's kind of in a duel. They call it the art of battle, is what they call the combat system. So you have to sort of look at your opponent, see which way they're swinging, to then match that, so you can block that attack.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the idea being, you can see which way they're holding their weapon, up, left, or right, and accordingly they're going to attack from that position.
Yep.
So you match their stance with the opposite stance, and then you can kind of deflect easily and block and then counterattack.
That does sound very deep. What's the opposite of left?
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah. It's kind of like a cross between Dark Souls and Dance Dance Revolution. Yeah.
But yeah, you have to be watching your opponent respond really quickly to be able to block their attacks and then get an attack in to hit them. Did you play as Vikings?
I actually played as samurai because I'm studying
I did too.
a samurai martial art.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 3 years, and so I got a bit fussy about the way the stances were and all that sort of stuff.
Not quite accurate.
Please.
Yeah.
Please, demonstrate.
So basically, samurai, their sword is very different from European medieval swords in that it's only sharp on one side. So it's basically like a razor sharp blade on one side and then flat on the other side. What they do is they basically point their sword at their enemy's eyes, and then they just walk. So they just hold it and walk. And they use it as a shield. They just keep their body behind it. It's a bit more kind of involved than that. They kind of, when someone hits then with a sword strike, they absorb it. So they go down like that, absorb it, and then come around and kind of counterattack like that. Whereas in this, they're just swinging their sword around like a Viking would swing his
Right.
axe. So I was a bit kind of disappointed with the accuracy of how each faction fought. I thought they all fought pretty much the same way, and they didn't really go into the kind of history or really research the kind of the different tactics.
What do you think about the idea of...
Nerd!
But a nerd who knows how to point a sword at your eyes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna keep it to
That's the
myself.
kind of nerd you make fun of. What do you think about the idea of games releasing in seasons like this? Do you think it's good to sort of break it up into bits? Because on the one hand, if you're loving the game, you got it when it first came out. Now there's extra content with new characters and new story, and that's you got to pay for that. But if you really love the game, then it's a great great way to get more longevity out of it. On the other hand, you could look at it and go, well, why not just release all that all at once and make a complete game and not charge later?
It's always hard to determine if they're actually generating new content or if they're holding back initially just so they can kind of milk the kind of the DLC money.
And wasn't that one of the initial complaints with this game, is that it was a little bear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not that it was a small, small.
Genuinely heard that
Small
in my
grizzly.
head.
Oh, really? I was going to
That
say, I
is
don't
a
think I
game.
misinterpreted it that way.
Now
but-
that's the game I want to play.
I opened the case and this tiny little fucking grizzly came out.
How does a
Torn
bear
to
fight?
shreds.
What's the tactic?
Roar.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of off-putting having this seasonal thing for someone who didn't get in the game initially. So now that it's like season 3, I wouldn't start watching Desperate Housewives is the first show I thought of in season 3. So you know what I mean? Like it's kind of makes it like, oh, I missed that boat, never mind.
It's actually quite unlike any other game that's ever come before. Like it's actually quite unique, which I thought was interesting. The closest I would say in terms of gameplay would be Dynasty Warriors. So I guess that's why I didn't like it. It kind of reminded me of Dynasty Warriors, which I think is a bit, again, mindless. You're just kind of running around. Different kind of events are happening within the play area or castle or whatever you happen to be in, and you got to run around and kind of solve all these crises that keep popping up by hacking and slashing at them until they go away.
Particularly when it's the minions that you're hacking and slashing against. I was just sitting there just pressing one button over and over again and just sort of killing people, and automatically it would sort of go from the next person and the next person and kill them. It's like, just pressing a button. This is not at all like satisfying combat.
Yeah. There's no style or finesse to it. It needs to be a bit deeper. There needs to be maybe a counter system and a few other bits and pieces to lift it up a level or two.
Put like a modern military guy in there as well, just with a gun.
Just so confused the whole time.
You'll
We point our swords directly at the eyes so that they can't. Oh my god! Oh!
Dragging a parachute behind him the whole time. He's never unclicked it. Ah!
Hey, here's a change of pace. Dream Daddy is a dating simulator where you play a single dad dating other single dads. Have you guys played dating simulators before?
Like Persona is kind of like a dating simulator in parts. You've got like friends you have to maintain. It's less dating but more friendship simulator, which I didn't understand. But it's a pretty straightforward seeming kind of thing. Like they've always seemed like it's a lot of kind of binary decisions of you can make the right decision or the wrong one, which is never that interesting to me. Like this dad will like this gift, but the other dad, he'll hate that gift. So make sure you give the right dad the right gift. It was my dad's birthday recently.
And did you get him the right gift?
I genuinely, I couldn't think of anything to get him, so I said it got lost in the post.
Wow.
I'm an awful son.
Well, Mr. Knox, if
Adam.
you're watching, this is the truth.
You don't have to tell us this on TV.
No, but it's cathartic for me.
Just segged over into a therapy session for Adam. Just,
No, I got him like a bottle of wine as well, but I can't. He's maybe I'll get him this.
So
Maybe
wait.
I'll get him Dream Daddy.
Now he's waiting on a present to come in the mail.
Yeah, forever.
I think that he already knows it never existed.
Hey man, as long as we neither of us have to say anything about it.
Oh, Adam, you are such a disappointment
All right.
to me and your family.
Yeah. I've heard it all before.
You start the game by creating your own dad character. I created a character called Geraldo Pancakes, who looks pretty great.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
He's
Jesus
guy.
Christ.
what's with his lips?
so frightening.
He's got weird lips and a gap tooth.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
He's got one of those kind of creepy mustaches as well, like the bum fluff mustache.
Yeah.
Kind of like Roger someone Waters.
Roger Waters. Not Roger Waters. He's Pink Floyd. John
yeah,
Waters.
John Waters,
Yeah. Look
does,
at
he
him, big
looks-
wet eyes.
Yeah.
Great
He
eyebrows.
looks like
though. His eyebrows are on fleek.
Yeah, he's got them Hey Hutchie eyebrows.
Yeah. He looks like kind of sexy Gargamel.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, hey kids, want to talk about Smurfs?
Just a little fatter, caramel.
Yeah. So, how much of the dad-on-dad action does it show in the game when that transpires?
It's not a graphic game. It's basically
Not interested anymore.
Dream Daddy. Nightmare Daddy, more like. I'm furious.
More like tease daddy.
I like when you made a character, Kate. It looked kind of like a male version of you.
Look so much like me, and I swear I did not do that on purpose. Like I was like, let's just do some random things and get started.
I'm just gonna make my
Oh my
dream man.
god, I've made myself as a dad. Better put a mustache on it. That looks good.
You do look good with a mo.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Big
I
blonde
wish this was a thing that I could grow. I think it would suit me. I have the face for it.
I have good news for when you get elderly.
Hey, all right.
I wonder what you get for the season pass in this game. Like, is there any Darth Vader DLC coming down the track? Maybe.
He was a bad dad.
Yeah, he was bad. He was even badder than Robert Small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what sort of a dating sim would you guys make?
Carbon dating.
Carbon dating.
Yeah. You have to cut down trees, count the rings, figure out how old. It's a dull game, but it's also a pointless game. So, it's got it all.
I would like a combination of Dream Daddy and For Honor, where Vikings date samurai, and
yeah.
maybe knights. They all mingle and have knaps. Is that the right pronunciation? Can we get the research department on to knaps?
What is a canap?
What is it? What is it supposed to be?
I'm envisioning a cracker with a small amount of residue on the top. That's what I imagine a knap to be.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Are you imagining it because you've seen one before or because you've made up a word?
I feel like.
It's canapé.
Oh,
Wasn't that
you were
the
keeping that on the
joke,
down
and I was
low.
like, oh no, Adam doesn't.
I was thinking K-N-A-P-P for some reason, which that would just be pronounced nap.
Canap sounds like a type of hat,
Yeah,
like that you wear to a ball.
yeah.
Get out the canaps.
Get out the
put it on.
canaps. You gotta look
The
for
gentlemen
daddies.
have arrived. Bring out the canaps.
Yeah.
They all pass.
This wouldn't look stupid
The
if she was wearing a
gentlemen do
canap.
the canap dancing ceremony where it's all the women stand on the side and do this.
Yeah.
And then all the men go around in a circle like this with hats and they swap hats.
Yeah.
And they
If you can throw your canap square on the head of a woman, that means that you get the next dance.
So is this what the Vikings and the Knights are doing?
Yeah, every day. That's the entire game.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
But with huge metallic helmets.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm hot.
Hey, that's it for this week. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more episodes every single Monday. And follow us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. We are at Gamey Show. See you later.
You never sound certain. Gamey show.
I like that you say subscribe every Monday too. Like unsubscribe on Sunday, resubscribe Monday.
Is that what I said? That's not what I said.